Yo, Ami, what do you got there? Oh my god, yes, this is showing Adult Swim. Well, you wanna watch it together? Sure thing. Ami, what did we just watch? To be honest, I have no idea. Yep, Adult Swim, you've hit a new low. Real quick before the rant begins, I'm gonna switch my avatar real quick. Alright, well, looks like the thing decided to turn me into Izmo. So, well, I guess we'll just get to it. Alright, cue some music, please, so I can actually review this thing. In the world of television animation, we have a whole lot of good stuff and a whole lot of bad stuff. The bad stuff is mainly what most people usually make rants about, and hence the reason why I'm also making a rant. So, there are some shows here that I actually seem to really hate. One of those ended up being the show that ruined my childhood, Thomas and Friends All Engines Go. But I'm not here to talk about that. Another show I highly despise is a show that has a really questionable fan base. I'm not gonna name the show. If you look for like the first AI cover I made, then I guess you know what I'm talking about. But none of them that I've talked about have been from Adult Swim. Oh wait, I forgot this is the first one I'm making of this series. But anyway, until now, there has really not been that many Adult Swim shows that have been bad. But I think I might have just found one that I hate. And that one is Oh My God Yes, a series of extremely relatable circumstances. Currently, only 3 episodes of this show have been released, and a 4th one is premiering tonight because of the fact that when I'm making this video, it's the 23rd. So, I'm going to just be going off of the 3 episodes that have currently been released to make this rant. Also, if you like this show, that's fine. I'm just expressing my opinion on this show, and as long as you can handle my opinion, I can handle yours. So for those of you unaware about what Oh My God Yes is, it was first submitted as a pilot to Adult Swim, and it premiered on February 1st, 2023, as part of Adult Swim's pilot night. It would then be uploaded to YouTube, and then in March of 2025, Oh My God Yes would make its full-fledged premiere as an actual series on Adult Swim. And let me just say right now, I have a whole lot of issues with this series. And you can tell that it's bad when I can say that I was extremely bored throughout the first episode. But before I let out my complaints about the first episode, and pretty much every other episode, what's the basic premise of this show? Well, the basic premise of the show is that 3 girls named Sunny, Tulip, and Lottie are navigating their way through South Central Los Angeles in the world of 5-3X, womanhood, and dating. Now, I know I got the order in the final 2 wrong, but I don't care. And this show takes place in the year 2102. And I'm just going to be honest and say right now, if the world is going to be like this in 2102, we are screwed. So the basic premise of the first episode, from what I can pretty much remember, is that Sunny ends up becoming the mother of a demon with another girl named Claire. And then all of a sudden, Lottie is also trying to stop the baby from being born because of the fact that, well, if the thing is born, it's just gonna wreak havoc. And, well, it's a surprise, Lottie is too late, and eventually it just goes on to destroy the city until it is killed. And as of recently, well, because of the fact there's only 3 episodes available, this is my least favorite episode in the entire series. And you can tell it's bad when I have to literally go back and go back and go back to the start a whole bunch of times just to understand what happens in the beginning. Not to mention that it feels as if the show just uses swear words for like no apparent reason. Like, if you're trying to make an adult cartoon, then don't abuse swear words. At least it's not abusing swear words as like other shows, but still, it feels as if they're just randomly placed. Not to mention that this episode just felt way slower than the other 2 episodes that are currently out when I'm recording this. And you know that if something is slow in its first episode, you're kind of screwed. Now, if you remember when I said that episode 1 was my least favorite episode of what we have so far, well, episode 2 is the opposite, and episode 2 is my favorite. But unfortunately, episode 2 still has the same issues that I have with episode 1, except this one is actually a bit more comedic. And what I found especially funny about this episode in particular, and spoiler alert if you want to actually watch the show, is the fact that we have a spider that is rapping. I am not making that up. There is literally a spider that raps in this episode. And another funny thing in this specific episode is the fact that there was a funeral for the same spider. Like, what? But other than that, the rest of this episode is pretty forgettable. So the basic premise of this episode is that Tulip's boyfriend breaks up with her, and soon enough she finds love with, out of all things, that same spider that I showed in the image earlier. And Suzanne calls Sunny and Lottie over that, and it literally escalates into a random situation, all because of that. And like I said earlier, this episode is what I just consider to be okay. Sure, I don't think it's that good, but it's still better than the other 2 episodes. And speaking of which, we gotta talk about episode 3. But also, this episode contains some of the same issues I faced with episode 1. Like with the absurd, like not really absurd, but it's like random swearing at places that, like, I don't know why it's there. I guess just to make it like more adult or something, but is that really gonna make it more adult? As for episode 3, I just didn't like this episode. But if there was one thing that I did like about this specific episode, it would probably have to be the robots, because honestly, I think that them robots are kind of cool. But other than that, I just found this episode to be pretty forgettable. Anyways, what this episode is about is that the girls find, out of all things, a man-tiger, and then they are attacked by robots who think that they have to eat the rich. I'm not making that up. But just like episode 1, I just found this episode to be really boring. I might take some time to watch episode 4 after I upload this rant, but for now, in my opinion, this show is trash. I also did the math of my average score for every episode that I've watched, and it came out to about 47%. Overall, oh my god, yes, a series of extremely relatable circumstances is just a bad show in my opinion, and I did not relate to this series whatsoever. I'm guessing it's probably because of the fact that I'm not the intended audience, but still. And if you like this show, as I stated earlier, that's fine. I'm just expressing my opinion. Alright guys, well that's the end for this video. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, and don't forget to subscribe as we're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.